Tatus in there.
Great game. 50 seconds to go. Hurts. Deep shot. Pulled in. Devontae.
Sure.
And before the press conferences even start. I mean, we could talk for 45 minutes just about how atrocious the defense is.
He's just picking the big guys. Jordan Mailata, he's huge. He'll be good later on. Josh Sweat, he's tall as hell and strong. Let's get him. We'll figure him out. It's working.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. I am Phil Stiefel. This is Jeremy Horwath. We're here every morning, 8:30 a.m. We got lots to talk about. Jam-packed episode tonight. This morning. I'm still stuck on last night's show. We're brought to you by Manscaped. Promo code TRENDING, TRENDING, just like you see at the bottom of the screen here. Get you 20% off and free shipping. They got excellent stuff on their site. Every man in your life will appreciate a gift from Manscaped. We're getting closer and closer every day, one step closer to Thanksgiving and the holiday season. So make sure you head over to Manscaped now and get exactly what you want for the man in your life. They will thank you, and you'll appreciate it as well. Yeah. Morning, Jeremy.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Happy to be here. Got a lot to talk about today. So much on the plate today.
So when I went to bed last night, I'm like, we're going to talk Sixers and Knicks. We're going to talk the Eagles a little bit and the Phillies.
Yeah.
But then, we had a bigger topic that had to be brought up first.
Yeah. A lot.
I got so many videos queued up. I'm bound to screw up this broadcast at some point. Just because there's so many videos. I need like an intern to produce just to put up the videos for me. All right. So what we're talking about is refereeing and bad refereeing and the not being held to any level of accountability in refereeing. Mm-hmm. You got stuff in the Monday Night Football game last night, which we're going to start with. Some stuff happened in the Heat Jazz game. And again, I don't know the background story on it, so I'm not sure, but the refs need to do a better job there. And of course, the Sixers-Knicks game, there was some pretty atrocious refereeing last night as well. Before I play the clip, Jeremy, what are your thoughts in general on refereeing? And are they held to a high enough standard? Are they held accountable enough? What are your thoughts on that?
No, that's kind of the thing. I don't really know if they're even held accountable. After they make bad calls, do the higher ups over their bosses, do they talk to them hey, you got to work on this and that, and if not, this can happen. At a normal job, that's what's going to happen. Hey, yeah, you're doing this wrong. You need to fix this, or we can find someone else. But refs make a lot of bad calls, and you see them refereeing for 20 years. Or
yeah, and now technically, the letter of the law does say that there's a grading system, and they get judged after each game, and that's how you get the playoffs or the Super Bowl or NBA title, gigs. Right. But you know what? You still see the same guys reffing, like you said, for 20 years.
Exactly.
All right, so you lose out on the playoff bonus money, but you still got your job. There's definitely got to be a higher level of accountability on refs in all sports completely.
Yeah, definitely in all sports. And even in some sports, you really don't even need them anymore because they're all the cameras that are around and everything that's going on. Why risk the bad calls and teams that can lose very important games? It's happened so many times, especially in baseball. But just in other sports, just the refs mess up and there's just nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do about it.
I mean, and you're a big baseball guy. I mean, it's such a pet peeve of mine when the umpires, they make the game about themselves or than the players. And you see it with some of those home plate umpires, the Joe West and whatnot, always inserting themselves into the game. And I think that's kind of what happened last night here with the Monday Night Football game. And I'm going to bring this up. If you haven't seen this video, so let me set this up for you before I click play, guys. So Marsh, he's a linebacker for the Bears. He just got a sack on Ben Roethlisberger. Huge sack to force. It was a 3rd and 8, turned into a 4th and long. They were going to get the ball back. And this is on top of the fact that they just had a really bad call on them on the goal line on the last drive. So Marsh has I don't even know who he is. I've never heard of him. Yeah, but he has a celebratory spin kick, Chuck Norris little, roundhouse kick that he does after sacks. He did that. And then he goes to the sideline, and this is what happens here. You watch the referee.
No, he's already reaching.
Complete hip checks the guy. And then, taunting-wise, you could just drop the flag, throws the flag. So why are you calling a taunting penalty on a player that you
that he was directing?
Even if you didn't intentionally do that, I mean, to me it looks intentional. But even if you're not intentionally doing that, why are you throwing the play? That's you. You know,
no, he's already
making yourself the center of attention in this play and this game.
That he was directing.
I mean,
you didn't see this till like 2 minutes ago.
No,
so, what are your thoughts on this situation, just individually, right here?
I mean, what is the ref like?
No, he's already
really trying to do here? Like, or like, does he really think that Marsh is coming up and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna hit the ref because I want to lose this game," or like, I don't know. And you can tell he looks at Marsh. And then he backs in like he
looks like he's like caught him when he even his eye contact towards him. He's like, "Yo, I'm getting you right now."
Yeah, it really does.
No, he's already reaching.
I don't know.
It's not good.
No, and it's very frustrating. I couldn't imagine being a Bears fan right now.
What about being a gambler? You know,
Yeah.
I missed the game. I called it yesterday. It should have been a 21-10 game, and it was going to go the over. I said that on the show yesterday morning. But look at the game. I mean, you know, they were driving down the field. If you had the Bears or any line or over under on this game, that could have affected the outcome of your bets.
Yeah.
So it's not just that. And, you know, we could go way back to the whole Donahue or whatever the NBA ref that got caught, you know, shaving points back in the early 2000s there, or mid 2010s. I forget the exact year. Cardinal O'Hara product guy that did all that. You know,
nice.
You're going to hear bettors say that this ref had money on the game now.
Would you be surprised?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Not with the way that you know FanDuel and DraftKings runs their stuff and all.
No,
I just think that this referee clearly, blatantly should be suspended for a very fair amount of time for doing this here.
Nothing's going to happen though. Nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Stuff like this can happen, and they can get away with it, and they could just say, "Hey, it was his bad call," and he can work on it. That's all it's going to be held to. And we're going to see this guy ref next week. He's gonna, you know what? He's probably going to be at the Eagles game too. Just with our luck. He's going to be the Eagles ref, and we're going to be like, oh my god, like Fletcher Cox is really going to show how it feels to get hit. Oh
yeah, is that what it is? Yeah. You let him try to hip check somebody that like Fletcher, who's completely frustrated with his team and his role right now. Anyway,
right?
Yeah. I mean, so what? I mean. Obviously, just holding them accountable and doing like a report card after every game, and you know, saying, well, if you don't get enough points, you're not going to get the Super Bowl. That's obviously not enough. You have to start finding referees and umpires for inserting themselves in games like this, right?
No, totally, yeah. Because it just the way it affects, yeah. Even you said like gamblers and everything like that, but the way that they're losing money, if you want to get like really like conspiracy theory type stuff, like this really could be just like, okay, well, we didn't want the Bears to win because bettors put more money on the Bears line than they did for the Steelers. You know, stuff like that could be happening. Like we've seen it more in the past too, like that Buccaneers Eagles game when we went for 2 and the over under was 6.5 and we lost by 6 instead of by 7. I don't know. That just looks really weird.
It looks bad. It does look bad.
Yeah,
like that. Absolutely.
And it could just be a coincidence.
And then the ref has the gall to come out after the game and say, "I threw the flag not for that, but for the taunting penalty of him celebrating his sack." So that's another whole subject there, that they're getting way over the top with the taunting and calling flags on it. But yet, you know, after a fumble or an interception or a touchdown, you let everybody go run the end zone and celebrate. You know, if you get a sack on the 2-yard line, they run to the complete other side of the end zone, you know, on the other side of the field to celebrate. That's not so that there's so much mixed signals there. You know, obviously the ref screwed up. Don't let the other refs or his boss need to be like, yo, shut your mouth. Do not say a damn thing after the show, because, you know, you're just making yourself look even worse by saying that what we just saw on the screen for 2 straight minutes was not the reason that you threw the flag, that you threw the flag because something that happened 3 minutes ago on a taunting. You know, something that every player that gets a sack does some form of a celebration.
Yeah. He's trying to dig himself out of a grave. And then that celebration stuff, that is extremely frustrating too. Like Jamar Chase did this. He pulled an arrow and did that. And he got a $12,000 fine for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's asinine. I mean, I understand to an extent why they were doing it, but I don't agree with why they're doing it.
Right.
And you're just leaving this situation open for interpretations because now the NFL can come out and say, yeah, that was just an accidental bump and he was doing his job by eliminating the taunting. And that's that's giving them an out on this situation.
Yeah.
Which if this guy's not suspended, I mean, there's an uproar all over social media already about this.
Right.
But if they don't suspend him and they use what I just said as their excuse why, it's the uproar is going to go.
Yeah, there's going to be an uproar.
Yeah, there. If the Bears linebacker gets fined for bumping the ref there, can you imagine the uproar that'll cause from that? Imagine
if he didn't get called for the penalty for bumping him, but he still gets fined for bumping him.
Yeah,
that's a double.
I'm just saying, you know, look, the refs get these egos, and it's not all referees and umpires, but there's enough of them out there in all sports that they make the game about themselves that, you know, something needs to be done. And an example, I mean, unfortunately, this guy might have to be the example and get a really hefty suspension or fine for this.
And that's what it has to be. I mean, I almost want to look back and see if he's done more stuff like this. And, you know, I haven't really.
Again, I went to bed before this happened. I saw it this morning, and we're just going off of what we see and read on the internet at this moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the refs need to control the games and keep them, you know, keep the players in line. But on the flip side, they got to let the game just play itself out as well. Yeah. And that brings up the next refereeing topic. And again, I don't know the whole situation. I don't know how the game went. You know, what was going on in the second or third quarter. But last night in the Denver Nuggets Miami Heat game, this happened. Let me see if I can get this zoomed in on this video here. This happened towards the end. I think there's about 2.5 minutes left. And I'm going to circle. You got Nikolai, Jokic right here. And this is one of the Morris twins. I don't know which one's which, but whichever one plays for Miami right there. So watch this play unfold. Jokic is running up the ball, and they bump into each other. And look at that hit that Jokic laid.
Oh, my God.
And look at how Morris is a big, strong, tough guy. He is curled up in the fetal position here. That's a 7'2", 300-pound man laying an elbow and shoulder into a player's back. Now, to me, I would like to know what happened in the earlier parts of the game because to me this says Morris does have a tendency to get in people's heads, and both of them are like that. Like he tries to get up and he falls back over in pain. Yeah, I mean the Morris twins both have the reputation of being scrappy, gutsy guys that kind of, I don't want to say instigate, but definitely they play that tough-nosed basketball that can get under people's skin. And so there had to be something earlier in the game.
Yeah,
but that play there did not warrant that.
No, not at all. That was, I mean, if there was more going on in the game before, I could see it. Maybe Jokic just had so much frustration because they were down.
Jokic had a triple-double, and they won by like almost 20 points. So I don't know where his frustration was coming from.
So the Nuggets had a big lead.
The Nuggets had a huge lead. I forget the final score, but they won by double digits.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Yeah, and so it wasn't that. He had a triple-double. He had like 25, 15, and 11. He was straight dominating the game. If anybody had frustration, it was the Heat.
So, yeah, exactly.
But so if there was stuff going on earlier in the game, this is my point with the refereeing. This is where the refs need to control the game.
Yeah.
And lay down the law that we're not going to accept this kind of stuff, but not insert yourself in the game.
Exactly.
In this situation, if like we say, stuff happened before the game, before that moment there, then then maybe that was on the refs, this whole situation happening because, they didn't do their job, controlling the emotions in the game.
Right. No, you're 100% spot on right there. They need to just reffing in general needs to get figured out. And I'm not saying it's an easy job, but for as long as some of these guys have been doing it, they know what they're supposed to be doing. And this is what I want to see.
I have to throw one more video up there because I don't know about you because again we're new as partners here, but I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan.
Oh, me too.
I didn't want him. I wanted him to the Sixers. I got him to the Sixers. When I say I'm going to go out and buy a player, I went out and got a Jimmy Butler Sixers jersey like that. I couldn't wait to have one, and I still wear it with pride. And this is the kind of guy you want on your team. This is immediately after this happened. This is Jimmy Butler. I don't know if you guys can read lips. I can't say on the air what he's saying here. Yeah, he's saying something. And look at Jokic. It's just like, whatever. I don't really care. Let's go in the back is basically what he's saying. Let's go meet out back right now. That's the kind of guy I want on my team, get my teammates back and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. Jimmy Butler has a reputation of working too hard and pushing teammates too hard and wears out his welcome. But how you wouldn't want to play with a player like this that's got your back? I just, I had to show this because I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan, and I love this. Jimmy Butler will probably get fined or suspended for trying to instigate a fight here, and I understand that because the NBA doesn't want another Malice in the Palace or anything like that happening. But I'm telling you, something like this, that's what I want as a teammate on my team.
No, that and especially that it's like your star player doing that too. Like no matter what, if you're a big name on the team or if you're a smaller name on the team, Jimmy Butler had their back, and that's definitely someone that you'd always want to play for. I think Embiid would kind of do the same thing too. Yeah, I feel like Embiid would definitely
absolutely would. Get the back too. Yeah,
exactly. So it's always nice to have someone like that on the team. I love that Jimmy Butler did it. I've always been a huge Jimmy Butler guy. I hated that he just couldn't fit with the Sixers, but
he could fit with the Sixers, just not Ben Simmons. And now look where we're at with the Ben Simmons whole situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that whole situation is blown up on it. Actually, that's a really good segue. It was one of the topics we were going to cover today. Yeah. Thoughts on the Ben Simmons to the Celtics trade rumors and the fact that they're talking about Ben Simmons for
Jaylen
Brown. Ballpark. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be other pieces to the puzzle,
right?
For sure. But that's what the main piece of the puzzle is. I mean, I talked about it on Scotty Talks NBA last night. I'd love to get your opinions on Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons and what the full framework of the trade would need to be, and also, what Jaylen Brown as your starting small forward would look like on this team.
I think the Celtics would kind of be dumb to make that trade. I love Jaylen Brown, and I would love to make that trade, and I'm willing to throw on probably more than some other people. I would love to see Jaylen Brown over here, and Ben Simmons is the main guy.
Right.
I'd love it. If the Celtics are smart, they're gonna want more though, and I think that's deserving. Jaylen Brown's a really good player. Ben Simmons, with everything that's going on, I don't have to name everything. Everyone knows what's going on with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
It could be a struggle over in Boston with Ben Simmons. So I think getting Jaylen Brown, that'd be huge. I don't think there's really that much of a shot unless we give up a lot. You're gonna have to add on guys like Thibault. You're gonna have to add on Thibault. I think.
Here's the problem with that though. So in the NBA, money has to match.
Well, yeah, the money too.
And Ben Simmons makes more money by almost $8 million over Jaylen Brown. So you start throwing in other pieces like Matisse or Danny Green or whatever. Now the Celtics have to throw in even more pieces. So
there could be an exception too where the Celtics just buys it out.
Well, I mean, even that there's rules. I mean, they have trade exceptions. Right. So because I worked it out last night before the Scotty Talk show. Ben for Jaylen Brown, because of trade exceptions that Boston has, can go through even with the $7.6 million difference in salary. But once you add on another player on the Sixers, the trade exception doesn't work anymore. So then the Celtics would definitely have to throw in another player. I know people talked about Marcus Smart. I don't think they would get rid of both Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, two key pieces of that team. But yeah, it financially speaking, if you throw anybody else on the Sixers into the equation, someone else has to come back from Boston to match that salary.
Now, since it's that way, I really don't think there's a shot in hell that we're gonna get Jaylen Brown on this team.
All right.
I don't see it. I don't think any draft picks are really gonna help at that point. Where the Sixers for a long time are gonna have them late first round picks because we're still, no matter what, even without Ben Simmons, we're gonna be a really good team. Obviously, we still first in the East right now.
After the loss last night, I'm not even sure. I didn't see Keith Pompey post his Eastern Conference standings yet today.
Right. So, regardless, we're going to be one of the better teams in the East. We're going to have a late pick, and most teams aren't that interested in them, even late first round picks. So, I don't think there's really a shot we're going to get Jaylen Brown, but I would love it. I think he'd do so much for this team. I just really don't see it happening.
I'm going to say something. I saw some people say it. I don't think that the Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons, a straight up swap, is an awful trade for either team. Ben Simmons, you take all the controversy in this season at the end of the game against the Hawks last year out of the equation. Ben Simmons has more All-Star game appearances, more Defensive Player of the Year, first team. He's you put them who they are outside the country, because let's be honest, Jaylen Brown has some issues in Boston too. Him and Tatum are not getting along. Him and Marcus Smart are not getting along. So there's issues there in Boston, not to the extent of Ben Simmons. So just trading Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown straight up, no picks, no other players, I think it's a feasible thing. And maybe I'm getting myself overhyped and whatnot. At this point, no other team's going to offer you, even if you have to throw in a first round pick or a Danny Green and figure out somebody that's on an expiring contract on the other side, one of their deep bench guys to come back to make the money work.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as far-fetched as people think. And honestly, I think it's the best case scenario for Daryl Morey right now.
I mean,
you're not going to get any better. I mean, unless all the stuff going on in Portland blows up and Dame Lillard finally says, yo, I want out, there really is no other better option. If you want an all-star player back for Ben Simmons, Jaylen Brown's the best you're going to do.
Yeah.
You got to try to make it work.
And again, if you can pull that off, pull the trigger. I'd love it. It's just that when you say, if you take all of this out, that'd be great, but you really can't just take that out of a player.
No, I know.
Right. Yeah. So that controversy, who knows if that's still going to happen in Boston? Like, I don't know. And that's something that the Celtics are going to worry about. That's something that they're all going to worry about over there, and how much it would work out. And I know, and so we'll kind of see as it keeps on going, because I know
is that why maybe that Ben Simmons actually went and spoke with Sixers doctors? Did Morey be like, yo, we're close to getting a deal done, but you got to show some progress. Meet with our doctors so we can send that information to other teams. I'm hoping that's the situation there.
Could be. It could be. And that's how it's happening. I'm going to love it because we need to get him out of here sooner rather than later, because I'm tired of sitting on this and not having a really good player on the team when they should be.
So Scotty asked me a question last night on Scotty Talks. I'm going to ask you the same question. We got the Bucks tonight, second half of back-to-back. We're obviously injury prone, protocol, we're short team big time here.
Yeah.
After tonight, we go on a 6-game West Coast swing.
Wow.
All right. So Scotty proposed to me, and I had actually already talked about this with other people. Ben Simmons, go. I don't know if I want to say call the Sixers club and be like, yo, I'll play, or Daryl Morey says, yo, you want to play? We're short staffed. Would you be okay with Ben Simmons coming back on this West Coast trip away from Philadelphia, away from the fans of Philadelphia, 6 games to come out and prove to the league that he can help a team still, because obviously the Sixers need a player, let alone someone of his caliber right now. There's a chance if we're without Tobias and Joel and Matisse for 3, 4, 5 games in this West Coast run, we're gonna slip and fall far. We're gonna lose 4 or 5 games. If last night was any indication, we're gonna fall. And why not, Ben? Be like, yo, I'll play. You're shorthanded. If you don't want to play Jalen Springer, suit me up. I'll play. A, it's kind of like him calling their bluff.
Mm-hmm.
But B, he could hypothetically show the league, look, Joel's not there. Look what I could do without Joel Embiid on the team. And that's the key to me right there. So what are your thoughts on all that?
100%. If he wants to play 1 game, I don't care. Put him on the court. If he wants to play, let him play. I 100% support it. Not a Ben Simmons fan anymore, but damn, he's still a good player. And that's
a great player.
Yeah, that's something that people still need to realize through all the controversy and through that Hawks series and everything. He is a great player. And he's already made it a lot more difficult to win more games without him. He's not a necessity, but he is a really good player. So if he wants to come out, play away from Philly, I don't care. It's not something that I'm not gonna take it personal. I don't care. Not a lot of people are really gonna want him to play in Philly anyway. No. So if he wants to go play in the West, get a little scouting report for these other teams, do what you got to do. I'm totally okay with it. Trying to get a couple of wins off Ben Simmons. Sure, why the hell not before he leaves? Yeah. It's the least he could do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I think it's interesting, and I think it's something that hey, he wants to play on the West Coast.
Exactly.
A bunch of those teams on the West Coast, the Warriors, the Kings, a couple of those teams have inquired at times about him.
Yeah.
So it'll be an opportunity for them to see him up close and personal, what he's still capable of. I know we're talking about Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, but I mean, more realistic, some of those West Coast teams might be better fits for him. So, I would love to see it. And last night's Sixers-Knicks game, heartbreaking loss last night to the Knicks, just proved why you need Ben Simmons or some equal trade value. Because even when we're healthy, we need him. But now that we're short-teamed, short on players, short-staffed. I'm thinking of my pizza shop.
Yeah.
What I got to do in like an hour here and go to work. They need. I mean, you played basically a 7-man rotation because for some reason Paul Reed only got 5 minutes last night.
Yeah.
Maxey, another good game, no turnovers, and another 40-minute effort. But Maxey 40 minutes, Zhang again another 25 minutes, Shake 30 minutes, Drummond 38 minutes, Curry 40 minutes. These guys can't keep doing this.
No.
And you start to see it last night. You start to see some tired legs on jump shots. Korkmaz another 40 minutes. He had a really good performance, but I don't know if you got to see too much of the game last night or read up on it. But I mean, it was what you expect when you're going up against a playoff team and you've got 7 guys that can play.
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch the game last night. I work very late, so I miss a lot of basketball games. But I always do go back and I watch the highlights and everything, and that is what I did last night. And you can tell they just had a lot of heart. But when you only have that many guys playing, it just gets so rough. And something that I actually saw Scotty over for our DSM. You were with him last night for Scotty Talks. I saw him tweet out, and it was like seeing how good Julius Randle is when the opposing team's stars aren't playing, and that one made me laugh. That was pretty funny.
The Knicks were acting like they won the NBA championship.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you beat a team that played 7 guys. 3 of the starters out. 4 of their regular rotation guys out. 5 of their guys out. I mean, pretty pathetic that they had to celebrate like that. Of course. And they had a 19-point lead in the second quarter, and they blew it. We had it within 1 multiple times in the third and fourth quarter. Just couldn't get off their hump. But that also goes towards tonight's game against the Bucks.
Yeah,
I said it on Sky Talks last night. Scotty kind of was, leaning my way a little bit. How do you play this knowing you got a long West Coast trip coming up? And, the odds are if we can't beat the Knicks shorthanded, it's even going to be harder to beat the Bucks on a back-to-back and still shorthanded.
Yep.
I'm playing ball read 35 minutes tonight. I'm letting the rookie Jalen Springer get his first action. Bassey, get action. I'm not burning out my roster tonight against the Bucks. If I said it last night when we were down 19, I'm like, I'm not trying to forfeit, but wave the white flag and start emptying the bench in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Just to give these guys a blow. Tonight I'm the same way. If you even fall behind 15 points and you see this game's not going to go well, dude, I'm waving the white flag and I'm playing all the young kids and resting this team because in the grand scheme of things, game 12 of the season, what does that really mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm 100% with you. And just like how it is in football, when you're down by so much and there's like, hey, there's no chance really coming back. You just want to bench your star players. Why risk them getting injured and having Maxey play another 40+ minute game when he doesn't really need to? So yeah, I would love to see young guys get in there. Even if we have I don't even want to say a lead, but if we're closer in the game, I don't think it's really a necessity to keep these star guys in there. Just like you said, it's game 12. How important really is that game? And I know people are going to say, I'm probably even going to get hate for it, but every game matters. You never know. Like the Phillies, if they won 2 more games later that year, they wouldn't have made playoffs yet. Well,
everyone sent at Jay Horworth 11 the hate for saying that.
Yeah, they're
load them up on that.
Yeah, they're just going to say every game matters. I've had that before talking about the Phillies, but I'm definitely with you. I think playing the young guys, seeing what they're really fully about, I love it. And going up against the Bucks team, and the
Bucks are shorthanded. I think Middleton's out still. I'm not sure if Drew Holiday came back yet or not, but I know he was out for a little stretch.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like they're a full strength, but it's just a guy like Giannis. Without Ben, without Joel, without Tobias, we have no Matisse, nobody to guard him. He's going to go off tonight. There's no one on the team that can stop him.
No.
So that's actually what me and Scotty were talking about last night. Maybe that's why they didn't play Paul Reed much last night, to make sure he's well rested for tonight, because honestly, he's probably our best option to guard Giannis tonight. So maybe they wanted him fresh and healthy. Yeah, you're laughing at that. Yeah, B-ball, Paul Reed, everybody jumped just like they jumped on the Pele train or whatever that guy's Norvell Pele or whatever a few years ago. Tony Bradley last year. Sixers fans love third string centers, and they get so hyped over these guys. And I try to tell them, dude, relax. If this guy was so good, he wouldn't be playing the third center on our team right now.
Exactly. And I can't believe that's going to be our best option.
And honestly, he's the lankiest and most athletic guy. Danny Green's too small to guard him, at least regularly. So
100%.
We're not going to be able to put up the fight we did against the Knicks. I see a blowout against the Bucks tonight. They're going to lose 15, 18 points, somewhere in that range tonight. It's unfortunate for anybody going down to the center tonight, but that's just the way it's going to be.
Hey, unless you want to see the young guys play,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that could be some fun.
I think 2-3 weeks ago, tickets for this game on StubHub were probably like $150 a pop.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I saw somebody on Twitter this morning had 2 tickets in the lower level. They were looking for $65 for the pair.
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, you got nobody on your team. I mean, I wouldn't want to spend the money, between parking and food and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, why go to the center tonight? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, 100%. And something that I did see, Andre Drummond had 25 rebounds.
Yeah, it's 85th or 86th time in his career he's done that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
At 20 or more. So I don't know what the record is, but it's pretty up there,
Did you hear about the last time that a Sixer has gotten 25 rebounds in a game?
I did not.
I wanna hear a guess. Who do you think the last person to do it was?
Give me a ballpark. How far back do I got to go?
It was before the 2000s.
Before you were born?
Yes.
Clarence Weatherspoon.
Charles Barkley.
Damn. I would say my answer to every rebounding question is Charles is Weatherspoon. I was a big spoon guy, growing up. Well, he was basically the poor man's Charles Barkley. He came in after Barkley left, small, undersized power forward.
That was a good guess, though.
Yeah, Charles Barkley.
Good guess.
I
guess.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. If I didn't say Weatherspoon, I was going to go Charles Barkley.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I tried to be fair, show off my knowledge there, and I failed. Oh man! All right, so we covered the NBA. Let's go to the next Philly team, the Phillies. I know this is right up your alley. You love talking Phillies.
And you got the Harper jersey on today.
There you go. So Bryce Harper, Chris Wheeler, finalists for the Cy Young and MVP award. Do they win? Is it Wednesday or Thursday they announce the winners?
Oh,
I think it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's sometime soon. I don't even know.
It's later this week. Either Wednesday or Thursday.
Later this
announce
week.
The MVP and the Cy Young.
Yes.
If you had a ballpark guess percentage-wise, the odds that Harper or Wheeler win, I'm assuming you're going to say Harper's got a better chance. But
yeah,
where's your thought process on it?
So Harper's going up against Fernando Tatis and Juan Soto, and a lot of their numbers are very close.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to stay as non-biased with this. Whenever I talk about the Phillies, I try to stay as non-biased as possible. And I really do think Bryce Harper has the highest chance of winning the MVP over Tatis and Juan Soto. Their numbers are very close, but when you look at the very advanced stats and I know it's all crazy and everything like that, Bryce Harper does lead in all of those. And he actually led this team further than the other two teams. He kept the Phillies in playoff contention for the last couple months. The Padres Fernando Tatis blew it with the Padres, and they actually were under 5. Like, it was terrible what he did with the Padres. And Juan Soto with the Nationals, they had one of the worst records in the MLB.
Someone tried to at me yesterday and be like, yo, no way they're going to give Harper, a guy that didn't make the playoffs, the MVP. But if you look at the 3 finalists, none of them made the playoffs. So
none of them are.
Whoever that was yesterday, sorry, you're wrong.
Yeah. Messed up a little bit there. Messed up a little bit there. But Bryce Harper, in my eyes, does have the highest chance over the two other guys. They all had incredible seasons.
If you had to pick one that beats him out, who would you pick? Not who you would choose personally.
Right.
Who you think the voters would choose? Because I have one. I wrote down who I think they'll. If it's not Harper, I think they give it to Soto.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I do think it would be Soto too. And it's crazy because Fernando Tatis, we thought that he was going to be the MVP for such a long time. The Phillies could have been the Braves. They could have been. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, we could do a whole show just on that. Yeah,
because they didn't want to make trades the way that the Braves did.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's a whole other thing. But Bryce Harper, Juan Soto is someone that I could see taking it from him if any of them do. Tatis just really slowed down and kind of ruined his chances, and he got injured a lot this season. And the thing is, when they look at most valuable player, it's not just offensive numbers. Fernando Tatis is a terrible defender. He's a great arm. They even moved him from shortstop to center field. Didn't do good in center field either. And Juan Soto is also a bad defender, and Bryce Harper is a really good defender.
He's definitely an A+ defender. Yeah,
exactly. And he has an amazing arm, and he even got some assists, some outfield throws through the year. So they're going to look at everything. So I think Bryce Harper's highest chance. And if anyone's going to take it from him, it's going to be Juan Soto.
Yep. I'm hoping to cash that ticket on Wednesday or Thursday.
In my eyes, I definitely think you will be. Zach Wheeler, on the other hand.
Yeah. Who are the other finalists for the Cy Young?
That is Corbin Burns from the Brewers and Max Scherzer from the Dodgers.
Scherzer ever not in the finals.
It's insane. The Max Scherzer really is just that good.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is a very small chance that Wheeler's going to win this. If you would have asked me a month before the season ended, I would have said Zach Wheeler could actually win this. But he had a lot of really bad starts going down the end of the road. I don't think it would him playing much better would have won us, would have gotten us into the playoffs at all. But Zach Wheeler, I wish his season ended off going better. Still an amazing season, top 3 in Cy Young. I don't think anyone really expected that in the beginning of the season. We were kind of looking at if anyone was going to do it, it's going to be Aaron Nola. I mean, and look how that turned out.
I haven't bragged about it. I have a Wheeler Cy Young ticket too.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about it because I didn't think it was a chance. But now that he gets named finalist, now I'm thinking, well, maybe I got that, 45-1 ticket sitting there that, might get a little payout for me. But yeah, nobody expected it.
Right. No, and they really didn't. And I love the season he had. This is a season that I will never forget for Zach Wheeler. We still have him for a couple more years too. Yeah. So hopefully he can come back next year, come out strong. He's I'm pretty sure he's gonna be our ace now. He will be our number 1 over Nola.
He should. Will he start game 1 of the season next year?
I think so. I think when you're top 3 in Cy Young, I don't really care who's really above you, unless you have one of those legendary players that have been there for so long, and you still just want to give them the nod because they've been there for so long. But no, I definitely have Zach Wheeler starting game 1 next year. Aaron Nola might get upset about it. I swear, if this turns into another Carson Wentz, Ben Simmons situation, I swear if we get a Phillies one, I don't think
Aaron Nola's that kind of guy.
You wouldn't think so, but you never know. You never know.
So Irish Drew brings up an interesting point. I was going to write that. I had it written down as a question. We're 82 and 80, and we still have finalists for both awards. One may win. But what does that tell you about the Phillies? That they got 2 of the, you want to say it, the 6 best players, the 3 finalists in each thing.
Yeah. You
got 2 of them. But and does it tell you that they're not as far away? Does that tell you that the rest of the team is that bad? What does it tell you about a team that misses the playoffs, just barely squeaks over 500, and they still got probably the MVP and one of the top 3 Cy Young pitchers in baseball? What's that tell you about the team?
That this team is not good. I'm going to tell you that right now. The Braves, when they made all those, when the Braves made all of them trades, right? The reason why they made them trades is because Ronald Acuna got injured and was out the rest of the year. That is the best player on their team. He was on track to win the MVP before he got hurt. He was having an amazing season. And they lost their star player and then made those trades. The Phillies, and look, the Braves still succeeded without their star player. If you take Bryce Harper out of the equation for this Phillies team, oh my gosh, we wouldn't have hit 75 wins. We would have been in the low 70s. Wouldn't even have any discussion about the Phillies. No one would even want to talk about them right now. The reason why we were in this discussion is because Bryce Harper has had an insane season. That is the reason why. It shows the rest of this team is not good, and we are dependent on Bryce Harper. We were 100% dependent on Bryce Harper and Zach Wheeler for well over half the year. And if you don't have one of those guys, this team would have been dumpster fire. If we lost Bryce Harper at the same time that the Braves lost Ronald Acuna, we wouldn't have been anywhere close to playoffs. Anywhere close.
I agree with that 100%. So there's a lot of rumors and a lot of talk the last couple of days about Aaron Nola. And some people saying to trade him now. I'm not sure where you're on the boat. I think you don't trade Aaron Nola, because you're getting pennies on the dollar for a guy that he should get better. The odds say that he's going to have a better season this upcoming year. And even if you do eventually move him, you don't do it now. You do it later if you're going to do it.
Right now would be the worst time to trade Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola is a former Cy Young finalist. 2018, he was in third. He had like a 2.4 ERA. Had a great year, and he has been slowly declining. And you can see things that that he has been struggling with. But the thing is that you still see good in Aaron Nola. He still had a shutout earlier this year. He's very inconsistent. And once you fix the consistency problem, it'll be figured out more. Once he stops hanging the curveball as much as he did this year, it would have been incredible. Most of his hits were off the curveball that he just left hanging. He would just throw it too much. And a pitching coach is all it takes to change that. You just need a good pitching coach. But right now, trading him, I think that'd be the worst idea. He is an all-time low in trade value. And if he comes back so much more next year, we're not even going to be wanting to trade him anymore. a year and a half ago, we didn't want to trade him at all. And now look at us like, hey, maybe it's the best idea. No, it's not, because you're not going to get anything out of him. You're going to get a couple really bad prospects that are going to sit in our farm system for no reason for the next couple of years. And we gave away Aaron Nola for nothing. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think Nola will be a better.
We're going to continue to dive into the Phillies a couple times a week, talking about free agency and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a long off season. It's a lot to happen still. You know, they haven't even given out the awards yet and stuff like that. But you know, I think that this is the first full year, it seems like, that Dombrowski really can make his imprint on this team.
Yes.
And we're going to know really quickly if this team is making it a quick turnaround, or if we, you know, if to go back on Jason Voorhees, who says blow it up and trade everybody. You know, if Dombrowski has a bad offseason, you know, that might be the way we have to go at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, this is the offseason of Dombrowski making moves, whether he gets, you know, one of those free agent shortstops, or, you know, trades for an outfield bat. You know, there's so many different things. And the Phillies have already, you know, given the outright release to a bunch of, you know, key players from last season. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be back. No. It just means that they're free to shop around their, you know, talents. And you see that all the time, and you see sometimes they come back, but we'll see how that goes in the next couple weeks and months.
No, definitely. Guys like McCutchen, Odubel Herrera, who I hope he's not back for many reasons.
I honestly didn't think he was. I thought he still was under contract for one more year. I missed a count. I messed that count up there a little bit. So yeah, glad to have him off. And that, honestly, to sidetrack, that rule that we couldn't cut him because of his off the field issues, is a really awful rule in sports. Or in baseball. You know, in other sports you can cut them for that stuff. You know, in football you see players, you know, get cut and the teams get out of those contracts. In baseball, you can't do that. I mean, honestly, I don't want to get on a side tangent and talk long about Odubel. He's not even part of the team anymore. But I've been frustrated with that rule for a long time.
No, and it definitely is frustrating. You kind of see it from both ways, but when it's something this serious, like because then it doesn't really happen that often, but it could be for something so minor, like, hey, he did. You know, I don't want to get into stuff like that, but it could be something as, hey, I don't really like him anymore. I just want to release him. With this situation, I wish we could have just gotten rid of him right away. But just like you said, the rule says it has to be because of baseball reasonings. Yeah. And unfortunately, he was just tearing it up in the minors the entire time as this is going on.
And our center fielders were so atrocious. Even his poor season last year was better than the other options.
It was.
So unfortunately, you know, if they would have cut him even after like a month, he could have easily gone to a lawyer and been like, "Yeah, look, you know, they had no right to do it." So, you know, it's a shame, but at least he's gone off the team. But yeah, McCutchen being gone, you know, we know McCutchen's pretty much, you know, past his prime as a defensive player at this point. Yeah. You know, he you know, if the DH comes back in the NL, maybe he plays for an NL team, but most likely if he continues his career, it's going to have to be in the AL.
Yep, just hitting against left-handed pitchers. Yep. That's going to be McCutchen's job for the rest of his career.
Maybe a once in a rare blue moon, a spot start in left field. Yeah, but he just can't do it out in the outfield anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
So, it's a shame. Yeah. All right. I mean, I had other things to talk about, but I mean, I don't know how much longer we can really go here this morning. You know, like I said, Monday Night Football, we said it was supposed to be a low-scoring game, so that meant it was going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
29-27, Steelers win over the Bears. I do want to touch on it for 1 second. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields as a quarterback?
Okay, so I have been a Justin Fields guy, and I know the Ohio State thing. I've been someone that's been saying that argument too. But Justin Fields, he has a good arm, and I know he's young. He still has a lot more to work on, and I right now I do think he is the Bears' best option. But I would not have been starting him this early, just like Trey Lance. Trey Lance should not be starting, and he's not. Jimmy G is over him when he's healthy. But these guys, Justin Fields, I like a lot. I think he has a lot to give out and everything like that. That was my exact next point.
So and that's kind of what Drew's bringing up there. It's kind of similar with the Eagles, where kind of bad coach really hinder the development of a quarterback.
Yeah,
you know, Sirianni. You know, I mean, it's a topic. You know, Sirianni, is he holding Hurts back? Is Hurts holding Sirianni back? You know, is Fields holding Nagy back, or is Nagy holding Fields back? And yeah, bad coaching definitely takes away from the development, especially of a young quarterback. And yeah, I make the joke about the Ohio State thing and quarterbacks in the NFL, but you know, he's still such a raw talent. I mean, you got Andy Dalton. Yes. Andy Dalton should still be starting. You got Nick Foles as your three. You know, Fields should be holding a clipboard for the entire season. And just watching and learning that there's no reason. I know they're not going anywhere. Well, you're not going to go anywhere with Dalton or Foles either starting.
No one.
So just let this guy learn the league and what it's like to be a pro before just throwing him out there.
Well, I think what the reason is Matt Nagy is on thin ice. If he has a bad year, he's being fired.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Same thing with the GM. So they need to win now. The owner does not want them to be like, hey, you have a few more years. Again, they've done this with Matt Nagy a couple times before, happened with Trubisky. So the same thing's happening, and this is his last year to prove that he should stay in this league. Yeah. He's going to do the best thing, even if it ruins development. Nagy wants to keep his job, and he's going to put the best quarterback. In my eyes, Fields is still the best quarterback out of the three. He gives you the highest chance of winning out of those three quarterbacks. Matt Nagy's going to do it right away. He doesn't care about the development because he might not be here next year. Yeah. So he's going to try and win now, and that might ruin Justin Fields. And the thing is that Nagy's true colors are really showing anyway because for some reason Fields just plays better without Nagy. I don't know, man.
I mean, I think Fields had 290 yards passing. He had a bunch of rushing yards last night. You know, I'm not comparing them, not at all. But when I watch him throw, and it's different, but he's got the same type of zip on his ball and arc on his ball and spiral on his ball as Michael. When I watch him release the ball and throw the ball, I see a little Michael Vick in him. Will he be Michael Vick good? Probably not. Not many players are Michael Vick good, especially in his prime. But I saw a play yesterday in the second half, and he threw this ball over the middle to Jimmy Graham, which I didn't even know Jimmy Graham was on the Bears.
Yeah,
didn't even know Jimmy Graham was playing in the NFL still. And he zipped it over the middle to Jimmy Graham, and Jimmy Graham made a big catch. It's like a 25-yard completion, and I just saw Michael Vick throwing it over the middle. That popped into my mind there.
Right.
It's not the perfect comparison, but Nagy.
No, I get it,
dude. I get what you're saying with Nagy trying to save his job.
Yeah,
but there's no saving your job. I almost think you have a better chance of saving your job by keeping Fields on the bench and just telling, look, I didn't win this year because we had a quarterback that wasn't ready to play. I was developing. Wait till next year and see, now that he's had time to develop, what we're capable of.
Right. And possibly he had that conversation before, and the owner was like, dude, I need you to win this year under no circumstances. We only know.
And that does kind of happen, those kind of conversations.
Yeah. And Justin Fields, actually, I was one of the guys in the offseason where I was saying draft quarterback first round. I was one of those guys, and Justin Fields was the guy that I actually wanted. And I think it's something we're going to regret because there's no quarterbacks coming up in this quarterback class.
True.
And I'm not a big Jalen Hurts guy, so I think we're all going to be regretting not taking Fields. Yeah, Still love Devontae though.
I won't lie. I mean, Hurts. If you need to draft a quarterback, maybe this year would have been the year, not next year, because obviously next year's class is pretty weak. But on the other side of it, look, I said it before the draft. There was not one quarterback coming out in this draft that I for sure wanted. I thought they were all around. Trevor Lawrence, I thought was the best of the class, but even him in certain years, back when quarterbacks didn't have to go, 5 of them in the first 10 round or picks of every single draft.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence wouldn't have been the number 1 overall pick in my mind. He would have been the first quarterback taken, but I don't think teams would have traded up or fought to get him at number 1 overall. Zach Wilson, I said it, not an NFL quarterback. Trey Lance, dude, he's 3 years of carrying a clipboard, maybe 5 years away from figuring it out because he's so raw. Justin Fields, yes, I know I said the Ohio State thing, but it is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we make jokes about it, but it's a real legit argument there that they just don't develop quarterbacks and get them ready for the NFL. And I always say when you get drafted to a team in the first round, early in the first round as a quarterback, you're going to the worst possible situation.
Exactly.
You're going to a situation where you're set up to fail. And it's really hard for these young guys if they're thrust into the lineup right away.
You are going from the easiest job playing at Ohio State, the Alabamas, the Clemson, the easiest jobs to be a good quarterback. I mean, they made Mac Jones look like a damn superstar over there in Alabama.
Absolutely. And now he's just a cheap shot, dirty Kurt Angle wannabe. Did you see that?
I did.
Dude, he had the great body. Like when Kurt Angle would get ready and the ankle lock wasn't working, he would drop down and grip behind the leg and twist and turn. That's what he was doing. If I knew how to make gifts, I would have had Kurt Angle's face over his helmet, instantly making that play. Dirty cheap play by Mac Jones, by the way. And Mac Jones and Bill Belichick saying it wasn't, is total, bull crap.
Bull crap.
Sorry, it's before 10 p.m. at night. I'm trying to watch my language a little bit.
Yeah, but those really good quarterback or the really good colleges with the quarterbacks, when they come in and they're in an amazing school and then they have to go to teams where they are the only option, it's a real wake up call. Wake up call.
Yeah. So and we'll close with this because this is an interesting topic we're talking about here. So you say you would have drafted Fields because you're not sold on Hurts.
Yes.
But the Eagles aren't ready. If you put Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields right now as a starting quarterback, there's not much difference in this team, right?
No.
Because it's a bad team, right?
Yeah. Right now, okay? Yeah.
So George, who follows a lot of our shows and comments on a lot of our shows on Twitter, unfortunately, still no comments on Twitter right now. He has talked multiple times where we have 3 first-round draft picks this upcoming year, most likely. You know, we've got lots of picks over the next 2 years. His theory almost is not. I keep saying we use those first 3-round picks to build the defense, to build the trenches. He says build 1 or 2 of those picks, but he wants to almost trade back and build the team this year through the draft and free agency, but try to move some of the picks into next year and continue building the team and just run with Jalen Hurts even next year, because you start building the rest of the team. Maybe Jalen Hurts, or Gardner Minshew keeps at least semi-competitive. And then in 2023, when there's better quarterbacks available in the draft, then you go get your guy. And then that guy coming in here won't have an awful team around him.
I mean, now I really think that's really only one of the only options now. We didn't draft Fields, and I think that if we had Fields, he could have, just like how people will say with Hurts, they're building up with the team he has now, and then it'll get better over time, and the team will get better, and everything will be figured out more. I would have rathered Fields in that situation than Hurts, but now the only option is you kind of have to stick with Hurts right now for at least the next year or two. I don't think it has to be a long-term option, and in my eyes, I wish it never really happened. I hated the Hurts pick in general, but it's what we're dealt right now. So yeah, help build around. In my eyes, I would. There's a guy that's probably gonna go first overall. His name's Kayvon Thibodeau. He's a defensive end.
He's an edge rusher, right?
He is insane, and he's going first overall. I would even be willing to trade our whatever second, third, fourth overall pick we have, that and that late round Colts pick, and I would even trade them two for him. But I mean, trading back's an option.
First, he wants the Bears to trade for Marcus Mariota. Now he wants the Eagles to trade for Marcus. You are probably the biggest Marcus Mariota stand then out there right now.
Yeah,
you were probably helping out with that hashtag "Do the deal" when Chip Kelly was trying to trade for Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota he's just not an NFL starter. I mean, he's a perfect backup. He'd be a good backup for one of these,
nice placeholder.
Yeah, he's a placeholder, but he wouldn't be a franchise starting guy.
No.
I just love to see them. I was all about the Marcus Mariota, the Eagles do the deal. Back then with Chip Kelly, I wanted that too. Yes, I did. I'll admit that.
That's all right.
But in hindsight, that was really, really good. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a topic we'll be talking about for a year or two to come now.
Yeah.
So the only hope with the defensive end, I don't want to say his name because I feel like I'll butcher his name when I say it, in the draft, is hopefully there's a quarterback that some team trades up to 1 and maybe he falls to 2 or 3. Because
yeah, exactly.
the NFL right now, it's quarterback, and teams reach for Zach Wilson or Trey Lance all the time because that's what they do. So
and that's kind of my hope because the Lions most likely will have the first pick and
they need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback. So who knows what they're gonna do? But I'd be willing to that guy, Kayvon Thibodeau, is an absolute. He's a beast. He's a beast.
I just got to remember Tom Thibodeau and just say his name like that because it's pretty
exactly.
Close.
Yeah,
it's pretty much
close.
spot on. All right. Anyway, let's wrap this show up. We didn't even talk. That's 2 days this week, and we haven't even really talked about the Eagles much at all. The loss to the Chargers. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just forget about that and move right on to the Broncos later in the week.
Yeah.
So everybody, make sure. Thank you for tuning in. This is Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Make sure you have that subscribe button hit on YouTube, following us on Facebook and Twitter. We greatly appreciate it. Jeremy's at JWorth11. Worth11. I'm Bearded Knowledge on Twitter. Make sure. So Adam's checking in late here, saying that Cy Young's announced on the 17th and MVP's the 18th. So not till next week. I thought it was this week. I thought somebody said it was this week.
I thought it was too.
Yeah. Please crush the Donkeys. I'm going to laugh because I think I'm going to laugh at that one. I'm not positive, but I'm going to laugh at that one. So make sure you subscribe to everything. We're doing this show every single morning, 8:30 a.m., Monday through Friday. Stay tuned because there's so much other great stuff on DSM Media. We got the Faithful Fanatics. Diamond Talk will be back soon. Scotty Talk, all different sports. I'll be live tomorrow night with Trending for 4 quarters at night. We got our fantasy shows, post-game shows. We got lots. So make sure you're following and tapped into DSM on all social media. And I heard Scotty did a great job of it last night. Just go to our Twitter page or our Facebook page. You click the link tree. It's got Spotify link. It's got the Apple iTunes link. It's got the TikTok link. It's got the T-shirt link. All the links to follow us are right there. Make sure you support us. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, to support us by going to Manscaped. Use promo code TRENDING. Get 20% off by using our promo code. It supports us. If you're going to buy the stuff from Manscaped, might as well use a promo code that supports your favorite podcast. Make sure you do it. 20% off and free shipping. Promo code TRENDING. We greatly appreciate your support. We could say go Birds. We could say go Harper. We could say anything you want. But, let's just have a great day, everybody. Be positive, and, we'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll see what we're talking about, but I'm sure there'll be some Sixers-Bucks talk, and maybe we'll start talking some Eagles. I'm not sure what else will happen. I'm sure more stuff will break in on ESPN in the next 24 hours. So
100%.
Everybody have a great day. Jason, both Jasons, Adam, everybody that checked in. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good day.